Can we do what we could not do last year?
Don't wait for me, 'cause I keep breathing fire. I won't wait for you, 'cause you keep telling lies. I keep going high, she keeps going low. At the end of the day, she's gone. But you don't wait for me, 'cause I keep breathing fire. And you keep telling lies.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode, of course, of Outcasts 2. Icons, if you've been enjoying the series, drop a like, that would be stupendous. Welcome aboard. So, yeah, today I thought we'd start with Augusto Rivas, just the man of the hour in the last episode. I think we made the right choice by starting him for that second game against Barca after what I've seen from him, and I think he really is starting to come into his own as a player now. It's taken him a little while. Like, when he first joined the club, I'll be honest with you, that first season he had here, where he was mostly making substitute appearances, but when he did play, we were pretty poor, and he was pretty poor, and I think he'd be honest with himself and say that's true as well. But I think that loan spell he had out of Brescia last year massively helped him. He was playing week in, week out for them, and actually playing really, really well for the most part. I didn't contribute that many in terms of goals and assists overall, but he did have a few injuries in there too. But nevertheless, and he also went to the Pan American Games and stuff like that. But I still think he had a good season there, and it really did help him develop. And this year, first half of the season, he mostly found himself substitute appearances and whatnot, and he still has been for a lot of the time. But you can see, I mean, just looking at the stats, 4 goals and 11 assists, sorry, total as well. 4 goals and 14 assists this season. And I know he takes some set pieces sometimes, and he does definitely rack up a few assists from that, but you've seen him play. He also gets an awful lot of non-set piece assists, and he's starting to add a few goals to his game too. So he's starting to give Troy Gregory a bit of a run for his money. He's a lot younger, he's hungry and ready to go, really, and I'm excited to see what this guy can really do. That's 16 passing and 18 vision. The work rate, so much about him is just fantastic. And bear in mind, he's only started 7 games this season and has contributed to 18 goals. So his minutes per everything numbers are absolutely through the roof. And the analysis video this end of the season is going to be very enlightening to see how he's done. But we've had a couple of games off camera, so we're going to talk about that now before we get into the big stuff against Atletico. First up, it was away at 4th place Lazio. 10 minutes into the game, Di Giacomo gets the ball, comes back to Steph Cassels, comes back to him eventually again, slots us 1-0 up. Nice to see Steph Cassels getting back on the score sheet. He's had a bit of a downward period ever since he rejoined the club on loan, if you like. But then in first half stoppage time, Martins gets through here, good little block, but then Jorun Gusens makes it 1-1. And in fairness, I think we probably could have lost this game. Lazio were much better than us, and we scored our only shot on target. Like, we were not good in this match at all. Easily the worst I've seen us play for a while. But we then picked ourselves up for the Coppa Italia final against Inter. Last time we played in this final, of course, it was Milan. We beat them 3-0. Komieklu drove us ahead after 27 minutes. A really, really strong start. We then had a goal disallowed for offside as well, which was very much borderline. But then 53 minutes on the clock, Lancer gets it, fires it over the top for Overmars. It's a great first touch to go round the goalkeeper and slot us 2 goals to the good and probably put the cup final to bed at that point. But we still had time for one more piece of loveliness here. Bruno getting the ball out on the left-hand side, delivers a gorgeous one round the side. Overmars pops it across, and there was Siggy Jonsson, 3-0 Sassuolo. A really nice moment for Siggy to add the 3rd goal on the night. As you can see, we destroyed them, but that was his first goal of the season, so it's so lovely to have Siggy score that goal. Record scorer for Sassuolo. He's had horrible injury problems this season after the stupendous stupidity of going on for that paragliding issue, and then obviously having his hip injury with that, but that's his first goal of the year, so happy for him. And lastly, it was back in the league at home to 18th place Genoa, and it was just classic Sassuolo. Di Giacomo gets the ball on the left, dinks it to the back post, Lancer's on the end of it, and that was number 30 for the season for Lancer. Brilliant to see as well. And then 25 minutes on the clock, we just sort of started to cut through them. Lancer gets the ball again, pops it through for Augusto Rivas. Great first touch, thunderous striking off the post for 2-0 to Sassuolo. We kind of just chilled off for the rest of the first half and really started to go in the second half. Rivas with a gorgeous ball out for Lancer. Great first touch, drives into the box, pulls it back across, and who should be there but Overmars, of course, with his first of the game to make it 3-0 to us. And it was nice to see Overmars get on the score sheet. This is his type of game. And then look at this for a pass. Rivas just cuts the defence open. Overmars is in, second of the night for him, 4-0 in the 60th minute. Exactly what I'm talking about with him. And then there was time for one more piece of magic. Giacomo puts the ball across. There's Overmars. Hat-trick, 5-0. Out of nowhere, Overmars just pops up with that second half hat-trick. I think their goalkeeper should have done a bit better on that one, but another trashing of a relatively poor side in the league, and just a great performance all round yet again, and another hat-trick for Overmars. I think that takes his tally of hat-tricks to 6 for the season, which is actually ridiculous. Like, let's be fair. Absolutely outrageous. 33 goals now he has currently got with 4 matches left. If he could score 4 in 4, he would become the highest goal scorer ever in Serie A history, and could potentially, if he gets 5, could go to a goal a game as far as the league games anyway. We're 11 clear of Juventus now, who dropped, I think, even more points, meaning that in our off-camera game against AC Milan, there is the potential to win the title. We've been flawless this season, thankfully. we are very, very close to the title. We were only 3 points away from the tally we won the title with last year, and I think our highest ever tally. In fact, no, did we win the title with less than this last year? Either way, I think we're going to be well into the 90 points. We could get to 98 points this season if things go to plan. Our goal difference is plus 82, and we've scored 112 goals in the league, I think. This might be the most prolific team I think I've ever had on FM in like a 30 in a big league like this. We've just come out of nowhere this year. 28 wins out of 34. But we're still going to get it over the line. I think the league title's pretty safe. We have won the Italian Cup for the second season in a row as well, beating both the Milan clubs in the final. But really, the league is looking like somewhat of a foregone conclusion right now. It's that one last thing that we've not managed to get our hands on, and it's the Champions League, and that is where our attention turns today. I feel like now we are as good as anybody as far as being able to impose ourselves and our style of play on others, rather than adapting to them. I want to be able to impose ourselves on Atletico here. This is a big, big chance for us to see how we do against one of the better sides. Barcelona were 9 points clear of Atletico in La Liga. So there is that to pay attention to, that maybe they're not as good as we think. So maybe this might not be as difficult as we think. But then that's always where we lull ourselves into a false sense of security, isn't it? Can we do what we could not do last year? So Mihal unfortunately picked up an injury, but then that's fine. We've got Sejdovic. I know exactly what I want to do today. It's a fairly straightforward run, really. And Yevadomski will come back in. Obviously, Lancer to the right. I'm going to go with Augusto Rivas on the left-hand side because he's proving things to me right now. His assist record lately, and even his goal-scoring record, is absolutely phenomenal. And I don't think I can argue with that. I feel for Troy Gregory, I do, but it's just hard to deny. But if we just include Troy Gregory as part of our front four for a second, yeah, they must have got close to 100 now, surely. That's 103 goals. 103 goals between that front four if you take out Rivas and put Troy Gregory in. That is ridiculous. The fact that Overmars is only 4 goals off of 50 in one season. These are like Fernando Ovalar numbers at Tromsø kind of numbers. And this is against much better opponents. Oh, by the way, Rashid Grosjean, you might be interested in him, actually. He is going to be joining us for free at the end of the season. Ignore that for a second. A free transfer? Yeah. This is the guy I was telling you guys about. Yeah, I mean, I just figured for free. Can't really go wrong. I know he's 30, but again, for free. Can hardly say no to a bit of squad depth, can you? They've got their very own Pierangelo, so worrying times there. Except he is ridiculous. Oh my giddy aunt. I think we just have to back ourselves, really, in matches like this. We have to back ourselves to go and get results. And that's what I'm hoping we're going to do today. Just score a goal, something to give us that hope in that second leg. Our form could not be better right now. Overmars is still smashing goals in. We've got Yanderson on the bench if we need him. Rivas is an assist machine at the moment. Let's take advantage of that. I want a first leg performance, much like we did against Barcelona, who, in theory, seem like a better side. But maybe Atletico just had a slightly easier run into this round. We've had to knock out the reigning champions and Barcelona so far to get to this point. And obviously there would be an awful lot on the line should we reach that final. But I feel like at this point, given the season we've had, we'd have to back ourselves at that point. There's never going to be the perfect time. But I feel like that would certainly be on it. Provided there was no major injuries to any of the key players going into that, I think we'd have a great chance at completing the objective. And as far as that part of the save, if we were to win the Champions League this season, the actual save as far as Outcasts to Icons would be over. However, with the lack of game time left in the actual cycle of the game, starting a full brand new save is something that would be quite difficult. And one of the things we were talking about on stream the other day, I realise I'm sort of venting this now, is the idea of starting a new save, but on the same save essentially. Because I had this survival specialist idea, where I try to rescue a side from relegation in each of the 5 major leagues. But my idea is that we could potentially do this. Oh, what a save! On this save as Kim Min, essentially. So we would retire as Sassuolo, well not retire, but resign, but we would remain inside the same save with the new objective. So it would be a new save, but within the same save. Maybe some national team management at some point as well. I don't know. I just want to see where we could potentially go with that whilst having still completed the objective. Because I like managing saves when you're further into them, Whilst particularly with a save like a survival specialist, that would probably be better in this scenario because at least we wouldn't have the same teams at the bottom every single time because there's so much variation at this point. Anyway, very slow start. Oh, not one of these, please. Good block. Thank goodness for that. It's been a very slow start from both sides. If anything, it feels like we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves at the moment because right now we are not looking particularly special here against Atletico. Neither are they, in fairness, but we just need to sort of keep our heads in that. Oh, no. Oh, that touch from, who was that? I think it was Eklu. Very nearly took it straight to the path. We're certainly under a bit of pressure right now, but we've got, here we go. Steph Castells. Overmars has got to make the right run for him. Oh, unless he could find Rivas. I mean, in the end, he's actually found absolutely nobody. Castells has certainly gone off the ball a bit in the second half of the season. It feels like ever since I extended his loan, he's just not been the same player. Oh, it's really weird. He scored the goal against Lazio, but he's just not been the same kind of dynamic goal-scoring, assisting machine that we had in the team before. And easy save for Speecher. We've got options in the box. He just has to find one. Finds Rivas. He can get himself out of a tight situation here. To Giacomo again. Whips it all the way across for Sadovic to open up a bit of space for us. Now we can maybe make a run. Eklu, maybe just shoot! And Komi Eklu's shot is just wide. Yeah, half time. I mean, we've limited them to only the one shot on target, which was good, and that was a fairly weak one. But the 2 early bookings to Komi Eklu and Yevidomski has not exactly helped us. But the good thing about 0-0 is it's still, you know, a nice blank slate. And if we can just sort of step it up a bit in this second period, we've got the likes of Yanderson, we've got Troy Gregory to come off the bench. So we've got options, which is nice. Pretty much well covered at the moment. We've got to be careful. Now he's got it back. Don't let him square it. Oh, good lord. Oh, forced it to the side netting. Sadovic, Gregory, Eklu. Just that one little ball in behind for Yanderson. If he can make the right run. Look at the space we've got over on this left. Gregory's just stumbling through challenges. Oh, he might have overdone it now, in fact. Did Giacomo? Yeah, he should have played that pass. There was an opportunity there for Gregory to use that run to try and play one of those guys in who could just run onto it and have a shot. But unfortunately, I think he just overplayed slightly. Maybe it's because he's not super familiar with the right-hand side roll. He does like to cut across. But here he comes again. He's certainly he's committing defenders, which is something different, I suppose. Oh, that's just outside the box. It's not a penalty. Penalty awarded? No. I mean, okay, well, looks like we're about to get potentially out a bit of luck going our direction, because that for me was not in the box. Yanderson from the spot, and he slots it home, and it's Atletico 0, Sassuolo 1 out of nowhere. 10th goal of the season from Yanderson. I cannot see how that was in the box. To me, that just did not look like it was in the penalty area at all, and I would have been livid had we conceded that exact goal. Yanderson will take advantage of it, though, and we do lead away at Atletico now. My God. Oh, insta-highlight, though. Not exactly ideal, but we have potentially got an opportunity to do what we couldn't do against Barcelona. And this would be a huge result for us if we were to somehow mug them into a 1-0 here. Eklu does brilliantly, and, well, our only real chance of the game so far has been a penalty, which we have taken. That's a dreadful pass, though. We're moving to shut it down. Try to this time. I'm going to drop the defensive line back in a sec as well, because I think that was the one mistake. Well, not the one mistake. That was the mistake we made against Barca. It's just continuing the high line as well while shutting everything else down. So we'll switch to that in a second as Yusufi's through. And it's a good save from Spica. Right, now we change. They won't have time to clear this. Even if they win the clearance header, it won't matter because we're going to win at the Wanda Metropolitano, and this is going to be a huge result for our season. Rivas' ball in. It's going to be coming back to him as well, and there it is. Atletico Madrid 0, Sassuolo 1. Yanderson from the penalty spot. Take nothing away. I think Atleti were by far the better side on the night, and we just defended extremely well towards the end of that one and got what I would say is an extremely fortunate penalty. It doesn't make me super positive about our chances in the second leg, because they did actually look pretty much a lot better than us today, but we've got a huge something to hang on to here, and that's exciting. Come on! Right, one game off camera against Milan, potential chance to win the league, you know. I'll see you in a sec. Right then, we're back. We had one game off camera against AC Milan in between the two. We won the ball in the midfield here. Castles with the ball round the side. Overmars flying through. Dinks the goalkeeper. He's just on a different level right now. 47th goal of the season. However, it literally took moments after that for Perea to absolutely do our right side here and put it on a plate for Frigiario, who just thrashes this one home. Spica completely speechless at that point. 1-1, so a pretty tight game at this point. But then 60 minutes on the clock, we got a little bit of fortune. We've been getting a bit of that lately. Rivas' shot, or rather pass, is deflected through by Fernandez, and Overmars pops in another one for 2-1, which is exactly what we needed. And then 80 minutes on the clock. Well, you can guess where this is going. Siggy gets the ball. The ball is eventually slotted through by Granados. Overmars hammers it home. 3-1. 3-1 to us. Hat-trick for Overmars. 49 goals in all competitions this year. He has one away from 50, and he has 36 in the league now, tied with Gonzalo Higuain for the record in Serie A, with 3 matches left in the league, 2 of which we got Benevento and Empoli in there. Surely he can grab a goal in one of those 2 games before our face-off against Juventus on the final day of the season, as of course this result, which was a pretty tight game, honestly. I think 3-1 is a bit harsh on Milan, but we won it, and we're champions. As you can see there, Juventus dropped even more points, and Napoli have actually now overtaken them. Juventus have gone from being neck and neck with us to now being 14 points behind us. They just could not simply keep up in the end. That's the way things are going. Benevento aren't a bad side, though. You can see they're actually ahead of Milan now by 5 points and looking very good for Europa Conference League. 36 goals this season for Overmars. Baris Aslan's just embarrassed himself in the second half of the year and has now fallen 14 goals behind. But now we are turning our attention to the biggest of all games. It's a tough one, because based on the first, we 1-0 up from the first leg away from home, which is obviously brilliant, of course, but we didn't play very well at all in this game, really. I think we were extremely fortunate. I think the only opportunity we really had in the game was the penalty, and we took it, but I honestly don't even think it should have been a penalty. The fortune was very much on our side, and I suppose it does kind of even out, because we've had a pretty shitty set of fortune in the Champions League with things going against us from time to time, so maybe it's just evened itself out almost in one game right there. But it doesn't fill me with confidence about our opportunity to take control of this game. If Atletico play as well as they did in the first leg, they'll probably beat us, and that's the problem. But selection advice, here we go. What we saying? Absolutely bloody not. Not in a billion years. Cassels will start. Eklu will play through the middle. And obviously Lancer will play on the right-hand side here. Niewiadomski instead of Pavlish? Or what are we thinking? And then Uriarte will come in there. And I will play Milivojev in the defence today. For some reason, I couldn't find him. So Mihilche is also back. Di Giacomo will start. He had a little rest for the last game. Sadovic will come onto the bench because we just need that little extra option. Rivas will also be on there instead of Candido. That's a nice sort of spread of options on the bench. The only thing we're missing really is maybe Siggy could come on instead of someone else. I'm going to go instead of Believ because I feel like I'm more likely to make a substitution for a right-sided player than I am for a centre-back. Barring an injury. I'm going to go with Troy Gregory today instead of Rivas. I know that Rivas is still playing well lately, but he didn't actually function that well in the last game against Atletico, and I wonder if it's maybe more of a Troy Gregory type of game. We want our best foot forward here. You can see that Rivas' form has just started to tick off a little bit lately. A lot could happen here. A win, if we win this tie, then the episode, either the next one or the one after, could... well, actually probably will be our last episode at Sassuolo, regardless of what happens, because if we lose the final, we move clubs, and if we win the final, this segment of the save would be over anyway, provided I do that either idea I've been talking about. But we still have to get there. And I don't think this is going to be as plain sailing, but maybe we'll come up with the beautifulness today, and maybe Overmars will just carry us through. And to be fair to Troy Gregory, he did win us the penalty in that game. So maybe he could do some more magic here. He did look fascinating, I suppose is the right word, off the bench in that one. We are 90 minutes away from our first ever Champions League final in this save, and I'm excited. Ideally, I'd want to go through in style. Like, come out here and win like 2 or 3-0 or something and just completely obliterate Atletico, because the confidence that would give us going into a final likely against Real Madrid, although it is 3-1 from the first leg. So if Arsenal were to do a bit of magic, they've still got something to offer there, I'd say. Who will, of course, be playing for us next year, no matter what happens as Yusufi. Oh, no, goalkeeper, please. Oh, Specia was all over the shop there, but they've missed a huge chance, much like they did in the first game. I feel like, for me, if there's another season, say we go out here, then really strengthening the defence has got to be our biggest priority, because we've clearly got the attacking side of things pretty good. It's just strengthening us at the back to have a bit more fortitude in difficult situations could make the world of difference. Lovely build-up, though. Gregory. It's a good strike and well saved by Bonnet. Cut out there by Mihilchea. Eklu. Can he find the right pass? He's found Overmars, and Overmars has made the run. It's going to be a tough one for him to finish from this sort of position, though. Yeah. Lancer, though, can get into the box. Lancer's through. He's got to finish. Huge save from Bonnet, and Lancer there, well, we look a lot better. Tries to find Overmars, and actually he has. If Overmars could skin the defender, maybe. Nobody in there supporting him at the moment, unfortunately. He's gone to the edge of the box, and this is nice. Oh, Steph. Oh, there was a chance there to maybe just ping one. But still, only 8 minutes on the clock, by the way. Still in the early stages of this game. Gregory, back for Di Giacomo, already on a booking. What a ball in. And Steph, and Lancer, and it's come back to him for a second time now. And he's gone for Eklu, and Cassels, and it's all the way through for Overmars, and it's 1-0 to Sassuolo, and Timon Overmars scores his 50th goal of the season. And that has been coming. We've been so good in the opening 9 minutes of this match there. There were so many little opportunities where the ball could have just about fell to the right person. A bit of fortune with the way that this ball, I think, deflects into the path of Timon Overmars. It's actually slide tackle, and he has finished like an absolute predator in front of goal there. 50 for the season. Uriarte, Gregory, there we go. Ball around for Miho. Oh, he's in again. Overmars, can he do it again? Sets himself up. It's a great save from Bonnet, and we really could have had 2 or 3, and we're only 12 minutes into the game. The excitement is definitely building, but we cannot take anything for granted. You know how quickly you can concede 2 goals. It's particularly when you're us. Di Giacomo, oh, it's a good save from Bonnet, but we are all over them at the moment. Looking at a potential final with either Arsenal or Real Madrid, the one thing we've got over both of them is we have knocked, as far as I know, both of them out of the Champions League in the past, and it's been on penalties both times, which is a hell of a psychological advantage to have in those situations, should it come to that. Overmars into the box. This isn't done yet, though. Oh, it's a great save again. First half has been all sass. I think Atleti had that one chance right literally in the first minutes of the match, but since then, that was their big opportunity. They take that, and this is a very different game. But it would just take one lapse in concentration, one good header from a corner, anything. What a save. Giannarelli with the ball inside. Oh, hello. Yusufi's got this here, and Speech is out of position, and he's missed the target again. I mean, wow. Uriarte to Di Giacomo. Substitutions coming up in a second just to freshen the legs up here. Overmars, Eklu, Lancer's throw. Can he finish? And he does. It's 3-0 on aggregate. Sassuolo 2, Atletico Madrid 0. And, well, surely now we are heading to our first ever Champions League final. And, well, I mean, it's going to be both a sad but also a very happy moment, potentially, because, hey, I think we've deserved it. We've really stepped it up today. Lovely little interchange. Eklu puts the ball through, and it's a great finish from Pierangelo Lancer. Brilliant work. Right, now subbies, I think, required. I feel no reason to try and shut this down because it is a 3-goal advantage with 5 minutes left. Now, should they score, we might think about it, but at the moment, we're just looking at complete control. Granados now, pinging it away, and in fact, he's found the ball through for Overmars. Can he create one more chance? Overmars, it's a good save from Bonnet. Atletico remind me a lot of us in recent seasons. Like that first leg where they played brilliantly, but didn't take their chances. That was so often us in the Champions League. But this season, we've done the opposite, and Sigurd Jonsson's now throw, and he hammers one at goal, side netting. Sassuolo 3, Atletico Madrid 0. Extremely comfortable in the end, like more comfortable than I could have ever imagined. And there it is. We're going to the Champions League final against Real Madrid, surely, and I think we've deserved it. Over this game, the first game, I think there was definitely a huge element of fortune, undeniably, but Atletico just haven't really turned up. They did have those 2 good chances, but they missed the target with both. And if you can't make Franz Spica make enough saves, then, I mean, I don't know. Those are their 2 biggest chances, and they didn't even hit the target. That no matter what happens, 4-2 in the end, so it is Real Madrid. No matter what happens in that game, that will be our last game in charge of Sassuolo, which is a sad, sad time. But those are the rules of the say, oh, we qualify for the FIFA Club World Cup. That's kind of sick. So obviously the final isn't until like the end of the month. So despite us winning the league, I do actually want to do next episode as a combined episode talking specifically about the league, because you guys did say that you wanted to see that, particularly as it might be our last opportunity to see Sassuolo in the league, regardless of what should happen in that final, whether we're looking for a new job as far as to keep Outcasts to Icons going, or whether we're having a few days break and then potentially coming back for Survival Specialist, which would be extremely fun indeed. So, next episode, join me. We're going to do Benevento and Juventus as like a double live con with Empoli off camera in there too, to see if we can break the records. Can Overmars get a goal in one of those 3 matches enough to break the record? Could he potentially even go for 40? Can we potentially go for the goal scoring record in Serie A, our own points record? All sorts of stuff on the line then. And then, of course, after that, Real Madrid Champions League final. I think we've been good value. The last game we lost was the first leg against Southampton. Since then, we've been flawless, essentially. Even against Barcelona, like perfect. Although here, lucky, sure, but we've had bad luck too. It goes around and it comes around. So, join me for that tomorrow. If you've enjoyed this episode, drop a like. That would be fantastic. We're in a Champions League final. Come on. That's got to be worth a like, right? Drop a subscribe if you're brand new to the series. I'll stream on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, so you can follow there too. And I'll join you guys tomorrow as we finish off our league season in what could potentially, well, not even potentially, really, be our last league campaign as the Sassuolo boss. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Hold your gun. Capybara. Bye-bye.